In recognition of Down Syndrome Awareness Month, we spoke with a few parents and teachers who interact with someone with this chromosomal condition on a daily basis.
Down syndrome occurs when an individual has 3 rather than 2 copies of the 21st chromosome. This additional genetic material alters the course of development and causes the characteristics associated with Down syndrome.
The challenges of Down syndrome.
His biggest challenge right now is communication, especially with people that are not in our family, but even in our family sometimes it's hard for him to get his point across. And we were talking the other day about how creative he is sometimes in expressing what he's feeling or what he needs, even to us.
Whether they are talking or using pictures or sign language or any mode of communication, what I have found is that it's in a way limited, whether it's not spontaneous or it's a lot of imitating. But again, you look in there and you see that determination and they want to talk so bad. And I have one little girl who, she has so much to say, and if I could only understand her, I mean, her world is just going to open.
The only thing with Gordy is she has a speech impediment and she has a hard time expressing herself sometimes, and other people have a hard time understanding. Other than that, we treat her just like we treat everybody. It's a rough world if you're not treated normal.
Down syndrome is the most commonly occurring chromosomal condition. 1 in every 691 babies in the United States is born with Down syndrome.
The joys of Down syndrome.
One of my fondest memories, and still one of the greatest joys in my life, was working with her on teaching her how to write her name. And so we were 7 and 5, I guess, and every Saturday morning we'd play school and work on whatever it was she was working on, and at the time it was writing her name. And I still vividly remember the Saturday. It was just 4 little letters, but those letters changed my life.
It's a fun ride.
It's a fun ride.
It's very enjoyable. Every day is a new day. So.
You come to realize that the cans are so much greater than the cannots.
Your child's first walk is great, but when you have a child that has more challenges than a child that doesn't have Down syndrome or any other disability, it's even that much more
it's great.
Uplifting.
I would say that she's the first special needs child in Texas to pass the floral design and the written test in Texas. So that was really the greatest achievement for her.
He has defied the odds from birth. They told us he spent 3 weeks in the NICU for respiratory and muscle tone issues, which are all very common for children born with Down syndrome. And they told us he won't ever eat. He'll have to have a G-tube and have tube feedings. And he ate. And when we left the hospital, they said, "You'll be back in 2 days because he can't do this." But we didn't go back. He won't ride a bicycle till he's 10 or 12. Well, he does. He defies the odds and he's underestimated, and so he kind of likes it that way.
There are more than 400,000 people living with Down syndrome in the United States.
Education in Down syndrome.
As a parent, you know your child's ability, and you have to be their best advocate. And when you know in your heart what a child can do, maybe they do it differently or maybe they do it slower.
The importance of joining in a team with the teacher and the resource teacher and the aides and the parents all working together to for the goal of his education and to help him have a great experience is so important. And it's been a good experience for us, especially at McKinney. We've had built some great relationships with the teachers there and the administration, and that concerted team effort is really an approach that has worked well for us and worked well for him. Do you like school?
we want those high expectations too. We want to set the bar up here so the kids can meet it and then go beyond it. But the communication piece is so important. Hey, this happened last night. So then the next day I'll say, well, at school this happened. Tonight, let's try this. That is, I think, you know, just the team approach. The more people in the huddle, the better we can support that student.
When everybody's on the same page, then the child knows, oh, they expect this from me, so do they, and so do they. We want what's best for your child, and we know that you do, that you want what's best for your child. And the more that we can collaborate in everything, and the more that we can all be doing the same thing, the more consistency they're going to have, and the more opportunities they're going to have to do that same thing over and over again.
For the most part, her experience in school has been amazing, and I love the FAC program. I really do.
I love how she's included on everything.
Everything.
Just not just with anything special needs, just general ed, just, you know, other kids want to include her on games and playing and
for her to truly be a part of the community without being forced into it is amazing.
My class or my students aren't always just seen as a typical peer. You know, they're like, oh, these are our friends that come for PE, or these are our friends that come into class for community circle. We were lucky enough to be in McClure Elementary from the day it started. So it was just common knowledge, like, oh, he's in my class, oh, she's in my class. You know, very cool. It stemmed from the top. My administration's wonderful.
Down syndrome occurs in people of all races and economic levels.
Just like everyone else.
That she's amazing, that they're just like, you know, anybody else. And that's, you know, what I think of her.
She's just a ball of love.
She's a love. She gets embarrassed, but yes, we tell her.
I like him because he is always like, sometimes he's happy, and like whenever he's happy, he's fun to play with and play school or something. But whenever he's like mad, it's like, stay away from me, I'm mad.
A new thing that one of my students is doing, which is so appropriate for, so age appropriate, is she has a friend in PE, and when he gets hurt, she's very concerned, and she'll go sit by him, and she's, you know, comforting and loving on him, and remember, she's nonverbal. She doesn't have any functional words, but the new thing is she starts twirling her hair, and I'm like, that is so appropriate. You like this boy, and here you are twirling your hair, and it just reminds me of what it will be like when she's older. They're just like everybody else. It might come out a little bit different or look a little bit different, but you know, the students with Down syndrome in my classroom, they're girls just like half of the population at my school.
Boy, are they girls.
They are
They are girly girls.
They're little princesses.
One of the things that amazes me about Jerry is we can be walking through Walmart, and he will go up to a perfect stranger and give them a hug. Well, as a mom, this kind of appalls me, but then the person is kind of like they needed that hug, and they never mind, and they always say thank you, and he just is so intuitive about people, and I love that. He just has this great spirit, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With my sister, I don't have a bigger cheerleader in my life than her. She is the epitome of unconditional love. You don't see her that she's not smiling and happy to see you, and sometimes as a principal that's not always the case.
Down syndrome is a part of him, and if you took that away, you know, you could have, you know, what some would call a normal functioning child, but it wouldn't be him. We love every bit of him, and you know, there's challenges, but there's adventures and there's excitement all the time. You know, when we received that news when he was first born, you're completely unprepared for anything like that. But it's, you know, the last 7 years have been an absolute blessing, we wouldn't change it. And it's hard to even explain that to somebody that doesn't know, but like to the people in this elite community that we find ourselves a part of, they get it. They know exactly what we're talking about.
People with Down syndrome attend school, work, participate in decisions that affect them, and contribute to society in many ways.
A blessing, an awareness, a bright future.
I'm blessed to have had the life that I've had. I'm blessed to have had a sister with Down syndrome. Would I ever choose that for anybody? No. But it has had a tremendous positive impact on my life.
They are aware of what's going on.
They're very aware.
Yes, so they do notice stares, they do notice people talking, they do notice, they know they're different also. So they might not understand the difference between them and a child without Down syndrome or anything, but they know, so it's...
Just be conscious.
Yes, just be conscious.
Be conscious.
Yes.
The meaningfulness of their lives, nobody really realizes it, and how many people they touch and how many people they actually help just through who they are and the characteristics that come with Down syndrome. And I mean, everyone's an individual, but it is just amazing to see each of them and their personalities and their sweetness. And of course, they're just like any other kid, and they'll have their moments or their days or whatever. But I think the future is whatever they want to do. I really think, and we're doing a great job helping them get to there.
Quality educational programs, a stimulating home environment, good health care, and positive support from family, friends, and the community enable people with Down syndrome to realize their life aspirations and lead fulfilling lives.